What is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? And for those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I'll do review of products, and I'll actually do these things called ancient reviews, also known as a retro review. However you guys want to refer to it as, where I actually review old products that I don't know, that I happen to have laying around, or if they're just part of a big memory to me. And the original Xbox right here is actually part of a big memory for me because I've had this thing since I was very little, and I'll explain what I've been doing with this thing and how I'm operating with it right now. But this is actually one of the first major technologies that really got me into the techie side. And plus, I played it all the time when I was a kid. I would play it like every day straight. Probably like 5 or 6 hours a day on this thing. And holy crap, that was bad for me. But I had fun playing with this thing. So here is the console itself. As you can see, it has this black matte finish right here. It got the Xbox logo right there in the middle. Now, when I was little, I actually thought that this was goo or something, but it's actually not. That's just part of the design. And right here, we got the DVD drive for when you put your games in there. You have all these controller ports right here where you plug in the controller. You have the eject button as well as a power button. Now, I thought that this is like a slot where you can actually put in a second DVD drive. Don't ask me why I thought this. I was little back then. And as you know, when you're little, you don't know much, but as you get older, then you do. But this is actually nothing. Behind this is actually the hard drive. And of course, on the sides, you got nothing right there. And on the other side, you got nothing right there. And then let's turn it to the back. This is probably a bad idea to leave it face down, so I'm just going to hold it. This port right here is your power port, and you got the gigabit Ethernet port, and that other port right there, and this port right here is actually where you plug in your connector to connect it to your TV. And of course, on the bottom, you got nothing except for these rubber feet. So, how have I used this thing in the past, and why is it a big memory to me? Well, I already explained why it's a big memory to me, but this is actually my second original Xbox. The first one I had a problem, and it kept getting the red eye like twice. Like this thing would be blinking green and red. I don't know what the problem was, but I guess it's similar to what happened with the Xbox 360, but I was told that you shouldn't leave the game disc inside the console when you're not using it, and that's how that problem happened. So I stopped doing that. I don't know if that's the official problem to why the red eye came on this original Xbox. I know for the Xbox 360, that's just for playing it too much, which is kind of sucks, but Microsoft rushed it. So I don't know what the problem was. The first one I had got it fixed like twice, and then the second time we just kind of gave up on it, and then we went out, got a brand new one. And so that's the story of the original Xbox. And then for a certain amount of time, I could not play this thing again, but it wasn't the red eye problem. It was actually the DVD drive problem, because it got jammed and it wouldn't eject anymore. Like one time I pushed the eject button and the DVD drive was coming out, and next thing you know, it hit something that was in the way. I didn't see it, and I forgot to move it, and next thing you know, I tried closing this drive. It wouldn't close. I just pushed it by hand, and then when I tried to take out the game, oh no, my game got stuck. So I kept pushing onto this eject button multiple times every day, so that way it doesn't eat my game in there. And then eventually I did. After that, I took the game out, then closed it again, and then it got stuck again. Now, I believe 5 or 6 years later, since I kind of broke this thing, I decided to look up tutorials online on how to take this thing apart, and then see what's going on with the DVD drive. And all I had to do was like clean up the belt that was in the DVD drive, and then clean up the gears that was in it, and then it started coming out again, so I was able to play my games again. But now sometimes the DVD drive will close and then open by itself again, or sometimes it won't open, and next thing you know, I hit it again and then it opens. So it's pretty much working fine right now. You just have to be careful with it. So that's my story on how I use this thing right here. Now let's get on to the specs. The CPU that's built into this thing, it has 733 megahertz times 86 Intel processor with a Celeron or Pentium 3 custom hybrid, and the GPU is 233 megahertz custom NVIDIA, also known as NV2A, and the memory is 64 megabytes DDR, and then the SD RAM at 200 megahertz in dual channel 128-bit configuration, giving 6,400 megabytes or MBs, or whatever you guys want to call it. And of course, this had Xbox Live on there, and it has this thing called the X-Link, which went from 2002 to 2010, etc. So let's actually plug this thing in and take a look at the user interface. Alright guys, without further ado, let's boot this thing up. Gotta love that welcome screen, or whatever you guys want to call it. Alright, so you have 4 different options right here. You have memory, music, Xbox Live, and settings. So let's go to memory. And memory, all it does is it basically shows you all the files or all the games that you have saved on your hard drive. And it's basically just to, like, if you want to, like, start over a game, for example, and you're only allowed 1 save file on it, you can, like, delete the whole game off of your Xbox as if it doesn't remember it, and then you pop it in as if you put it in your Xbox for the first time. And as you can see, I got so many games right here, and your soundtracks also count. And what I mean by soundtracks is that you can actually put in an audio CD and then like burn it onto your hard drive. Now, keep in mind, I tried doing that with CDRs, and you guys don't know what a CDR is. A CDR is basically a blank audio disc, and that's what I tried to record my music or rip my music onto my original Xbox. It will not do that. It'll only rip music from official audio CDs that you would buy from your local retail store, such as like Best Buy, Walmart, Target, you name it. So you can't play CDRs on this. Now there was one CDR that I was able to play in this thing, but most of the time I can't play anything. Music, self-explanatory. If you have a CD in there, go to audio CD, hit play, and then you got all your options right here. And if you actually click on the controller XYX, or I don't think it does that now, but you actually get a full screen visual player. And let me just mute it right here for now. Let's see if I can give you guys an example right now. So I'm just gonna play a quick song. Yeah. Okay, so you push X, Y, X, and then you get a full screen of the visual player, and then you hit X again to exit out of that, and then you can change to your tracks. You know, you can just go to move up or down on the D-pad, or you can click the triggers, go next, left trigger, start over, go backwards, or you can just simply move to next or rewind, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so unmute this. I had to mute it because I can't have any copyright on here. Alright, Xbox Live. That's the same thing as the current Xbox Live right now, although I believe it's discontinued for the original Xbox. I wouldn't be surprised if they did discontinue it, because this is an outdated product right now. You have new account recovery. I never used Xbox Live back then because I was little. I did not know what it was until I started growing up with the Xbox 360. Then I found out. You have your settings right here, and you have clock, which you can just set your date and time. Go to your whatever time zone you're in. Language, self-explanatory. Audio, you have audio options right here. You have Dolby Surround, stereo, or mono. And you have video. Now, what I like about the video options for this is that you can change the size of it. So right now I have a widescreen because this is a HD TV right here. Or you can have letterbox, and you have those regular size TVs, like the very old ones, the very old big ones, and then you got normal right there for normal size ones. and of course you got network settings. This is only if you're connected to the internet. Auto sign in, that probably has something to do with Xbox Live. Parental control, auto off, and system information. And so this is everything that the Xbox has, and this is like this computer program is protected by copyright law. So this is like having to do with copyright laws and all that. So overall, how do I like the original Xbox? The original Xbox was the second gaming console that we ever brought into this house right here. And this is actually my console when we first got it, and I enjoyed playing it. In fact, the very first game that I got is this game right here, the Sonic Heroes. And then that's how I became a fan of Sonic games back then. Some of you guys probably don't like it, but I don't care. And as far as graphics-wise, graphics look great back then, but if you look at it with the modern generation of gaming, you might say, wow, this looks crappy, but guys, appreciate the graphics that you get out of this thing, because this is like an ancient product right now, because it's outdated. I don't know when this thing was first released. I think it was 2001, but overall graphics do not look bad. In fact, I'd rather play my original Xbox games on this console versus playing it on my Xbox 360. I played Sonic Heroes on my Xbox 360 before. The loading screen looked like crap. It would have like lines appear all over the place, but the original Xbox doesn't do that. So I guess the hardware on the Xbox 360 is completely different compared to the original Xbox. That it plays the original Xbox games kind of choppy. So on a 1 to 5 scale, I give this a solid 4.5. This is by far one of my favorite pieces of technology that I have ever owned in my life. And that's coming from somebody who has an iPhone, who has an iPod Touch, who has a Sony Vaio Windows 7 PC. Also, there's a Gamecube down there, which was actually my brother's, but he gave it to me when he got the Wii. So the original Xbox, I'm hoping that I can keep this thing forever, and I will continue to play games on it, because I can play some of the games that I can't play on my Xbox 360, and I don't see myself playing any original Xbox games on my Xbox 360 ever again. Why is that? Because there's no point into that when I got this thing, plus it'll just run kind of crappy on the Xbox 360. So for those of you guys that have lived a great gaming life during your childhood or throughout your whole life, what is your favorite console of all time that you've ever owned? It could be a modern console that we have right now, which is the Xbox 360, PS3, and the Wii, and then the Wii U is already out, and then the Xbox One and the PS4 still has to be released. Or it could be an older console, whether it's the PS2, the PS1, the Gamecube, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. You guys name whatever console you want. Go ahead and leave it down in the comments down below, because I'm curious to see what was your favorite console of all times. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and click the like button if you guys like this video. And what are your thoughts on the original Xbox? Go ahead and leave a comment about that as well. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.